Hello, everybody. This is Tashika with Historic Westside Revitalization. Today is Tuesday, January the 18th, and it is now 5:53. We're going on a little later today so that we can include as much news as possible, of course. So we're going to start off today with news from the neighborhood. So we were actually told just recently, over the last day or so, that the West Side Oasis actually is going to be holding some networking meetings for businesses every Tuesday at 6 p.m. going forward. This is going to be one of those fun and exciting things that we don't see very often that's actually happening. And instead of having a city person or a person who's in the church actually taking the initiative, for once we're actually seeing businesses for the first time actually kind of getting out there and throw their hats in the game and how we can actually create those connections inside of our neighborhood. So we wanted to make sure that the next thing is our next segment is going to be news from your cities. So the city of Las Vegas has recently announced wedding venues to be used that they're kind of doing some promotions on. So we see the historic 5th Street School, Lorenzi Park, and then Floyd Lamp Park. As we know, we actually have a city asset that's going to be inside of the historic West Side, as well as different parks that we kind of want to see if we can activate as well. So if you are the city of Las Vegas, or you're a person who would like to actually host a wedding, please reach out to the city of Las Vegas for our neighborhood, because we have the historic West Side School that actually has been renovated and has a lot of different land. You may be able to do your receptions and stuff there. We do know that I believe there are 2 spaces that possibly could be rented so that you could actually hold receptions there, or possibly even having an outdoor wedding. So please reach out. We do have assets like that. We also have Lorenzi Park, which is one of the things that was highlighted. This is an area where we have a lot of, we have a on-site pond. We actually have baseball fields. We have, tennis courts, but we also have just a lot of open space where you could actually enjoy your time on the West Side and be close to downtown. The next we wanted to highlight is some of the things that we found on the City of North Las Vegas's website, and that was the fact that we had 13 new recruits graduate from the City of Las Vegas Fire Academy, and we had 12 new recruits from the Fire Academy and 13 new recruits from the Regional Police Academy. So that's exciting stuff, and we're really excited to hear that there are going to be new people who are going to be helping our city from a public safety perspective. So if you are a person who's been interested in reaching out to who is in the side of the West Side community, you are looking for employment opportunities, we've actually had a brief conversation with the captain over at the Bolden Station. Please, if you are a person, especially if you are a person of color, minority, and you've been interested for a while but you never took the plunge, please reach out to the Bolden Command so that we can actually start seeing some of the people who look like us inside of our neighborhoods. Those are going to be some of the things we wanted to let you guys know. And then we wanted to introduce a different segment today to kind of give you guys introduction to what your city actually does. So we wanted to start off, we're going to come over here with the Operations and Maintenance Department. So Operations and Maintenance is responsible for the acquisition, maintenance, and repair of the city fleet vehicles and equipment, maintenance of more than 150 buildings. That's just in the city of Las Vegas. General street and right-of-way maintenance. That's roughly for the city of Las Vegas, roughly 1,250 miles of road. Reviewing and approving private maintenance requirements, street rehabilitation, including a preventative maintenance program that identifies Las Vegas streets that may be that are in relatively good condition but need minor repairs. Pavement management programs, and then graffiti removal or abatement. So frequently asked services from this department are going to include streets and sewer maintenance, that's debris and water in roadways, alleys, and drainages. Street rehabilitation programs, this is going to be the slurry seal. This is going to be the people who come out and actually reseal your streets. As far as we know, that the city only technically does that themselves every 10 years. Dust from construction, grading, operation. So if you are a person who is actually going to be doing some construction, they usually have to post a sign. So these are going to be the people that you would talk to about the type of sign and the information that is absolutely necessary for the people around you to know when you're actually going to be doing your construction projects. They're also going to be responsible for street lights and flashing signals that are in need of repair, street signs, and curb painting. These are going to be very important things, especially in the historic West Side. If you are in an older community where maybe your lights are kind of flickering, maybe you actually need to have some new sorry, that's my dog in the background. Maybe you need to actually have something painted in the front or back of your actual community. Let's say you need fire hydrants, they're like things like that. This would be the department that you reach out to. Traffic lights in need of repair, flood hazard zones inquiries. So this is when there is a flood in your area and you're not sure who you can call. You can call into your city of Las Vegas or North Las Vegas, depending on which city that you are actually in respectively, to actually get that taken care of, or at the very least get some information on how you guys can actually move forward. Sewer connections are also going to be important here. The city of Las Vegas has its own sewer billing inquiries area, and then if you wanted to report graffiti, because the operations and maintenance are the people who would go out and actually repaint the actual, that I believe that is abatements, where they're actually going to go out and repaint over graffiti areas. So they also are going to be responsible for street sweeping, and you can also contact them if you would like to get your street sweeping schedule. We felt the need that it would be important for people to know what our actual cities do. So if you are a person who can take advantage of this, please reach out. The overall department phone number is 702-229-6227. That's for the city of Las Vegas. City of North Las Vegas will have to look that one up for you. But at the very least, we kind of want to give you guys an information on what operations and maintenance does in the city that you live in. Other news we're going to be moving on to is going to be business news. So this is going to be something that we did not know, so we're making sure everybody else is knowing. Did you know that Google actually has an events page? So if you're a person who is trying to figure out how you can actually post events that are going to be happening for your venue, or you happen to know things that are going to be happening. Let's just say you wanted to get a farmer's market off the ground. If you wanted to post it in a place that has a large reach, Google actually has an events page. So if you are a person who is a promoter and you're trying to find a way to reach a new audience, we see that there's there are a lot of issues when it comes to making sure that people know about what's actually happening. So maybe we can start posting things in the Google events page. We were able to find that the Arts Center is actually going to be doing something this weekend. Now that they're a part of Ward 5, they're going to be having a thing we're going to notify you about a little later on in the broadcast. Other things we wanted to make sure that you are aware of: the city of North Las Vegas is launching a small business connector. This is intended to boost the Southern Nevada recovery for our economy. And then when it comes to the NGIM program, NGIM is a system for engaging in the government, trying to actually get bids. If you're interested in actually working with the government, you would want to make sure that you're registered with NGIM, so that you can start seeing the different things that are actually coming up. So right now, the thing that was posted this week is going to be from the RTC, and this is going to be RFP, which means a request for proposal in the naming rights and sponsorship program. So this is supposed to be going to be something that's going to be a complimentary service to some of their advertising. And that is it for what we wanted to make sure that everybody is aware of in the business news. If you have business news that you want everybody to be aware of, please send it to us so that we can actually put that out here. We wanted to make sure that we touch base on the Know Your Representatives. So this week we wanted to make sure that everybody is aware of Ward 2 Councilwoman, and this is going to be Pamela Goings Brown. This is the city of North Las Vegas. Pamela Goings Brown was elected in 2011. She was the first African American woman to serve as mayor pro temp twice. She is married. She has 2 children. Her background includes she has over 35 years as an assistant principal in the Clark County School District in the field of education. She was voted the Woman of the Year in 2014 by Zeta Pi Beta sorority, and then she has a couple of other awards, including the Women in Business and Politics from the Urban Chamber, and the Women's Equality Day from the Women's Democratic Club. A fun fact about Pamela Goings Brown is, at least from the website, she enjoys playing bingo. So that is so that we can actually start putting some actual words, so like actually starting seeing the people behind the actual offices. This is going to be important because we want to make sure that we are knowing the people who are in office, and nothing makes that easier than for us to know a little bit about who they are and how they engage with our community. So we know that Pamela Goings Brown has supported our community for more than 35 years as as a person who supported our education system. So that's important for you to know, and it's important for everyone else too. So the biggest then that's going to lead us into calendar events. So today was actually a pretty busy day from what we can see. Sorry, and that this dog is just going to keep on making noise, but I don't want to kick him outside because it's cold. Okay, so today at 10 a.m. the City of Las Vegas recommending committee was up. At 3:30 p.m. the City of North Las Vegas had their joint board of appeals. At 4 p.m. the City of North Las Vegas had the redevelopment agency special meeting. And then today was also the last day of the 5-day pause for the Clark County School District. If you are not aware, like many people who are single, over the last 5 days, the Clark County School District had basically from on Thursday, let all of the teachers know on Friday that they would not be needed to be, they would be doing an in-service day basically for the teachers, and on Monday and Tuesday, Monday being Martin Luther King Day, which was observed, and then Tuesday being today, that the kids would not be in school. So for the first time, we've actually had a pause in the actual school for a little while. This was based on some of the guidelines that were passed down. So a lot of our teachers received short notice, which means that our families received a lot shorter notice. But our kids will be back to school we'll be back to school tomorrow. So if you're a person who's single like me and you did not know, at the very least, now you do. So Wednesday, we're going to have a couple of events, including 2 city councils and the redevelopment agency. So 8:30 a.m. for the City of Las Vegas is going to be the redevelopment agency. So this agency basically, they're going to be the people who put forth a lot of the redevelopment dollars and projects. They do a lot of recommending. They take some of their projects from the recommending committee. From what we can see, this is a very important place, because anything that's usually approved dollar wise at the recommending committee at the redevelopment agency meeting is usually going to be passed on to the city council to approve for that month as well. So then the city council for the City of Las Vegas is going to be happening at 9 a.m. This is something that happens on the first and third Wednesday of every month. Same thing for the City of North Las Vegas. Theirs happens at 4 p.m. on the first and third Wednesday of every month. You can actually either tune in on, you can either go in person, you can tune in on the YouTube. I believe they also have a Facebook, and then you can also tune in to their channels. You can find all of the information inside of the agendas that you can find on their website. So you would go into meetings and agendas, and all of the information that you're looking for is going to be there. Next is going to be on Thursday. Everybody loves Thursday. At 11:30 a.m., this Clark County School District Bond Oversight Commission is going to be meeting. And then at 4 p.m. on Thursday, the City of Las Vegas Arts Commission is going to be meeting. Last event that we can see that we were able to find is going to be the event that's going to be happening this Saturday from 7:30 to 9:30 at the Smith Center. It's called Don't Monkey Around on Broadway. So if you have tickets, awesome. If you don't, and you're looking to actually see what's going on at the Smith Center, fantastic. So if you're a person who's doing things over at the Las Vegas, the West Side Las Vegas Arts Center, and we want to actually start seeing some events, or start seeing some of those dollars being attracted away from the Strip and the downtown into the West Side, since we're now part of the downtown area, start posting your events in Google. As we know, Google is one of the largest search engines in the world, if not the largest search engine in the world. So most of the stuff that Google reads everybody's websites and then ranks them. So if we actually start posting things like our events, our festivals and things like that in places where we actually are going to reach the largest audience, that's going to be a great way for us to do this. The last thing that we wanted to talk about today is try to see if we can actually bridge the digital divide between the businesses that are inside of the Las Vegas West Side and the businesses that we see happening pretty much everywhere else. So if you are an older business and you are currently completely analog, meaning that you actually do a lot of handwritten receipts, it's going to be important for us to actually start taking the initiative, even if it's you reaching out to your grandkids or you reaching out to like some younger people who happen to be patrons, to be able to start getting you into the digital world, to start attracting younger clientele who are actually going to be seeking services that are going to be trusted, reliable, and actually affordable. So as we see, when you're searching for services and you're inside of the West Side, there is usually a desert if you're looking in Google or Yelp. Businesses, if you are inside of the West Side, please make sure that you're registering for things like this. So we actually went down to one of the churches that was a local. We liked some of their architecture, and we asked if we can actually post some of that so that we could actually see how it is actually so we can see how it's being tracked, how the actual perception of the West Side is from people who are outside of our community who are looking for things. So we actually posted that one about a year ago, and now they have finally reached 20,000 views for some of the pictures that we had posted. And not only that, not only have they reached 20,000 views, they actually were contacted by like an actual production studio for Kevin Hart to do. They actually rented pretty much the entire block so that they can record a movie there. So if you are a church, if you are a business, if you are a business owner, you a person who is trying to figure out ways that we can actually bring new things into the West Side, where this is going to be one of those ways that we can do this. So if you're an analog, again, if you're a person who does lots of handwritten receipts, we're in a very large transition right now, where we actually are going to need to have as many people who are going to be able to be accessed and viewed electronically, because now we see that there are a lot more people who simply they won't look at Yellow Pages. They're not going to look at newspapers. When they want to actually do things, the ways that they're actually going to find you are going to be in the two places that most businesses that are going to be in the West Side may not be in. And that's going to be having registering for your Yelp, registering your business through Yelp. We do recommend that if you would decide to advertise through them, make sure that you read the fine print. We have known that there are occasionally issues with Yelp, but it doesn't change the fact that people even if you do not pay to actually climb the ranking, at the very least, people can post pictures for your services inside of Yelp. Same thing having to be with Google. You can register your business 100% free with Google. If you decide that you would like to actually start doing something like advertising with Google, they also have these things. The last thing that we wanted to make sure is these are great ways for us to create new jobs. These are great ways for us to actually start bridging the divide. So occasionally we see people who come and visit our page from the city of Las Vegas, from the city of North Las Vegas. We have heard that there are multiple people who watch this. We're trying to actually act as a medium for people who are interested in having the information from a relatively neutral party. Everybody knows that our emphasis is simply to actually revitalize the West Side neighborhood. And for us to be able to do that, it's important for us to be able to share the information on a unilateral platform, and for us to simply be able to give information as much as we get. So we give out a lot of information because we believe that it's important, because the more that we know, the easier it is for us to be able to do new things. So a thing that was recently told to us was the fact that we have a local person who owns a house, and they were just like, I would like to be able to see. She actually says, she's like, I don't want to see this place turn into a dumpster fire. And we know dumpster fires from 2020 who had a lot of nonsense happening. And we know that the West Side is not a dumpster fire. It's just a way for us to. Right now, we're in the process of realigning our dreams with what actually is possible. So we do know that people in the West Side and the people who actually have the ability to move resources are trying to figure out the best way for them to be able to come together. This happens to be one of the best ways that we could do that, is because of the fact that if we put out RFPs just for somebody who is actually going to want to go door to door and actually help register some of these businesses so that they can actually have that presence, it's going to be important, because not only that, the more people that come to these businesses, the more tax revenue that it will be generated, especially I know that one of my background is actually in bookkeeping. I know that a lot of the revenues having to do with business license is dependent on the actual sales. So if we can increase the sales to the businesses inside of the West Side, then we can increase tax revenue. This is a way for both of you guys to win. For both the government agencies who need the actual tax dollars to help operate and create new services inside of the West Side, and the businesses who are actually going to need the services and the new clientele to come in and help breathe new life into our community. So that is going to be it for today. I hope you guys enjoyed it. As always, we want to make sure that you guys have as much information as possible, and that we're trying to be an advocate and liaison for the West Side community and the people who are currently holding more resources than they know what to do with. So that's going to be it for us today. We hope you enjoyed our video, and we will see you next time. So long.